Welcome once again to our channel. This is McDonald Tech over here. If you are a visiting subscriber, please thank you for visiting again. If you are new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button so that anytime we create a new video, you'll be the first to receive a notification. Today we are looking at task 0x0bc, that is memory allocation. So as you can see, the checker was released 6 a.m. today. So the concept for this project, we are being expected to look at this concept, that's automatic and dynamic allocation, malloc and free. So these are the resources. So we can either read or watch these two resources for the links that will be given over here. And these are the learning objectives. So at the end of this project, we are being expected to be able to explain to anyone without the help of Google. So over here we have our general requirements. A README file at the root of the folder of the project is mandatory. And also our code should use the Betty style because it will be checked using the Betty style. Then we are not allowed to use global variables in this task. And we shouldn't have more than 5 functions per file. And the only 6 standard library functions allowed are the malloc and free. Any use of the functions like printf, put, calloc, realloc, etc. is forbidden. We are also allowed to use putchar. Then also the prototype of our functions and prototype of the function putchar should be included in our header file called main.h. Then we are also not to forget to push our header file to GitHub. So before you start this particular task, we have to do this quiz. So these are the quiz. So you can see that we have question 0 and these are the various answers to the quiz. As you can see over here, you need to finish or complete this quiz before you can start the task. So after you are through with the quiz, then we can now start with the task. So after running your sandbox, the first thing to do is to change directory to your root folder. Then you can ls to be sure whether you are in the root folder. Now today's task will be working in our ALX low-level programming repository. So to do that, just cd into our ALS low-level programming repository. Then you hit enter. So over here when you ls, you can see that all the projects that you have done inside our ALS low-level programming repository, you can see all of them over here. So we are being asked to create a directory called 0x0b malloc_free. So to create a directory in Linux is mkdir. That's the command, make directory command. Then space, you paste the name of the directory that we copied from here. So when you are done with that, you hit enter. So over here, when we ls, you can see that we have the directory that we have created over here. So now it is inside this particular directory that we'll be working or will be performing all of these tasks. So for us to navigate into this directory, you cd, which is the change directory command, then 0x0b, that's the name of our directory, then hit enter. Now the first thing after creating the directory, the first thing that we are supposed to do is to create our readme file. So to do that, you type vi, depending on the text, the editor that you are using. For us, we are using Vim, so that's why we can see that we start with vi. So vi, which is a command for opening the file using the Vim editor, then the name, which is readme.md. Anytime you open a file using Vim, it opens in the command mode. So for us to be able to make changes or edit the file, we have to click I on the keyboard to enter the insertion mode. So after doing that, you come back to the project, then you copy the heading over here. Then because we want to use heading 1 for our readme, you are going to put the hashtag sign over here, hit your space bar and paste the heading. When you are done, you click escape, then you type colon, write and quit, which is WQ, then you hit enter. So right now when we ls, you can see that we have our readme file created over here. So we can now do git add git commit -m, and the message is created readme.md. Then you hit enter. After that, you do git push to push to the repository. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to create our main.h. That's our main.h header file. So to do that, we type vi main.h and hit enter. Clicking or after typing vi main.h, it opens main.h file in the command mode for us. So now we are going to edit. So you hit I on your keyboard, then you type this particular, you type the whole of this inside your main.h. Then when you are done typing, all of these are function prototypes. So when you are done typing, you hit escape on your keyboard, then you type colon WQ and hit enter. Then we can now add it to our repository. We can now commit, then we can now push. Now when we come over here as well, we are being asked to create a main.c. So to do that, we are going to do vi -0 main.c, then you hit enter. So after creating the main.c file, hit I to enter the insertion mode, then you type the code that we have over here. Now I'll provide a link in the description for all of these codes, okay, but I will still take my time to just explain it for you guys to understand. So when you are done typing the code, the next thing that you are supposed to do is to hit escape, then you type colon WQ, which will now write your code to the file and also quit back to the previous page. So this one you can now, after creating the main.c file, we are now ready to start our task. So you now copy the file name over here, which is 0-create_array.c. Come to your terminal and type vi space and paste the name of the file, then hit enter. Now over here we are inside the command mode. So to now type our code, you will now enter the insertion mode, which is clicking I on your keyboard. After typing the code, okay, after clicking I on your keyboard, then you type this code. Now let me explain what all of this code is doing. So over here we are declaring our array, then this is our unsigned int. So over here we are saying that if size is equal to 0, then it should return now. If the size of the array is equal to 0, then it should return now. Then over here, this is the second one, which is saying that, okay, returns a pointer to the array or null if it fails. So over here, if it fails, we are supposed to return a pointer to the array or null. Then we have our prototype, which is the car create array. So this is it over here, car create array. So this is now our function car create array. So after typing all of this code, the next step to do is click escape on your keyboard, then colon WQ, which will now take you back to the previous page, and hit enter. When you are done, the next thing to do is to type git add git commit -m, then my message will be task. Okay, let me copy the title of the task. So float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Then you come here, you paste, then you hit enter. After that, we do git push. Okay, so after doing this, the next thing to do is to click on check your code. Then you click on start a new test. Then you can say immediately your code has passed or your code is successful, the execution of your code is successful, the done will be automatically checked for you. So with this, we can now move on to our second task. Now we are being asked to write a function that returns a pointer to a newly allocated space in memory, which contains a copy of the string given as a parameter. So the prototype that we will be making use of is the car star strdup car str. So the strdup function returns a pointer to a new string, which is a duplicate of the string str. What we are going to do is to now come here and copy the name of the file. Come back to our terminal and type vi space, then paste the name of the file and hit enter. After that, we are inside the command mode, so hit I on your keyboard to enter the insertion mode. Then we can now type our code over here. After typing your code, the next thing to do is to hit escape on your keyboard. Then you type colon WQ, write and quit. When you are done, we can now add it and push it to GitHub. So git add git commit -m, then your message, I will copy the woman who has no imaginations has no wings. So I'll come back to my terminal, paste it, end the code and hit enter. After that, I will push it to GitHub. When you are done with this as well, the next thing to do is for us to check our code. So click on the check button and click on start a new test button. Then we continue to our third task, which is he who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. So we are being asked to write a function that concatenates two strings. So the prototype that we are making use of is the str concat car s1 car s2. Now the return pointer should point to a newly allocated space in memory which contains the contents of s1, followed by the contents of s2, and now terminated. If null is passed, treat it as an empty string. The function should return null on failure. So to do this, or to perform this task, we come over here and copy the name of the file. Come back to our terminal and type vi space and paste the name of the file and hit enter. Now in the command mode, hit I to enter the insertion mode. Then we can now type our code over here. Now let's explain what we are talking over here. We are saying that the pointer should point to a newly allocated space in memory which contains the content of S1 followed by the content of S2. So this is what we are talking about. So when this statement is true, then this particular code will execute. And also when this statement is true, then this particular code will execute. So when you are done typing your code, hit escape, then :WQ to quit back to the previous page. Then from here you can do git add, then git commit -m. Then we come here to copy the name or the text of this particular task. Then you paste over here, then you hit enter. After that, we now push to GitHub. So you do your git push. When you are done, come back to check your code and click on this particular button. Click on start a new test. Has passed successfully. So the next step is to move on to the third task, which is write a function that returns a pointer to a two-dimensional array of integers. Prototype int alloc grade, int weight, int height. Then each element of the grid should be initialized to 0. The function should return null on failure. If width or height is 0 or negative, then it should return null. So to perform this particular, to work on this particular task, copy the name of the file, come back to your terminal, type vi space and paste the name of the file that you copied and hit enter. Then in the command mode, hit I to enter the insertion mode. After typing your code, which is what we have over here, okay, you can see that this code that we type is now, okay, all of these requirements have been satisfied by this particular code. So when you are done, then you click escape on your keyboard, then :WQ, then you hit enter. Then from here we can now add it to git and push. So you do git add, git commit -m, then you copy the name or what we have over here, you paste. It's like the network is lagging. You paste, then you hit enter. After that, you click on git push. So you type git push, hit enter, then it will be pushed to GitHub. When you are done, then you come here to check your code to be sure whether you have passed everything. And please, before I forget, make sure you also use Betty to check your code after coding before you push to GitHub and move on to the task 4. Now the task 4 is saying it's not bragging if you can back it up. So we are being asked to write a function that frees a two-dimensional grid previously created by your alloc grade function. So the prototype is void free grid int grade and int height. Note that we will compile with your allocgrid.c file. Make sure it compiles. So what we are going to do now is to come down here, copy this particular file name, come to your terminal and type vi space and paste the name of the file and hit enter. Then inside the command mode of the Vim, click on I to enter the insertion mode. Then we type our code over here. Now after typing our code, the next step is to click on escape, then :WQ, then hit enter. So after creating our task 4, the next step is to add it to GitHub, git add, then git commit -m, and the message. So we are going to have it's not bragging if you can back it up. then you hit enter. Then we now push to GitHub. So we type git push, then you hit enter. When you are done, then the next thing to do is to check your code. Now we have our advanced task 1, which is it isn't the mountains ahead to climb that wear you out, it's the pebble in your shoe. So we are being asked to write a function that concatenates all the arguments of our program. The prototype is car arg to str int ac car av. Then returns now if ac is equal to 0 or av is equal to null. Then the code should return a pointer to a new string or null if it fails. Then each argument should be followed by a new line in the new string. So to do that, we come here and copy the name of the file. Come to our terminal, type vi and paste and hit enter. Then in the command mode, you hit I or you click I on your keyboard to enter the insertion mode and type your code. After typing your code, you can now click on escape, then :WQ to exit. Then over here you do git add git commit -m, then you can do it advanced task 1, so I can make it advanced task 1, then git push. When you are done, the next thing is to check your code to be sure whether you are on the right path or you are on the wrong path. The next step or the next task is the last task of this project, which is task 6. I will show you how great I am. Write a function that splits a string into words. Prototype the car str to w, that's to word car str. The function returns a pointer to an array of strings, that's words. Each element of this array should contain a single word, null terminated. The last element of the return array should be null. Words are separated by spaces, so returns null if str equal to null or str equal to. This is also the same as null or empty. If your function fails, it should return null. Now to do this, we are going to copy the file name, come back to our terminal, type vi space and paste the name of the file and hit enter. In the command mode, we hit I to enter the insertion mode. After writing our code, okay, you can see that this is all our code. So after writing our code, the next step is to click on escape on your keyboard, then you type w:/WQ to write and quit. When you are done, you do git add git commit -m, then you type the name or you put your message over there. So I'll do it advanced task 2. Then you now do git push to push your code to GitHub. From here, you can now check your code to be sure whether everything is correct. Please, if you have an issue along the way, please pause the video, go back and start again. I'll be providing the code in the description section of this. Of this particular video. Please, if you have not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that anytime a task is there or anytime there is a new video, you will be the first to receive the notification. Thank you.